Joining us now, Army First Lieutenant Clint Lorance and Clint's attorney, Don Brown. You were there 72 hours. That you came to take over a platoon where a bunch of Taliban on motorcycles had killed members of that platoon and took out the leader, severely injuring him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, these guys passed the checkpoint and didn't stop, right?
Correct.
Sounds like exactly what had happened just before you had gotten there 2 weeks earlier.
Absolutely. Happened all the time over there.
Your job is to make sure that these men that you are protecting as their platoon leader come home, right?
Right.
And so how many seconds did you have to decide whether or not they were like the ones that injured the last platoon leader and killed others?
It was just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Just a few seconds. And in that time, there's so many things going through your head. You're responsible for those guys. You're responsible for not just the Americans on the ground, the American soldiers, the young 18-year-old soldiers from across the country, but you're also responsible for the reputation of the United States. You're responsible for the partnership between the Afghan forces. And so you're thinking of a million different things, and I had a couple of seconds to make a decision.
So we sent you over there to fight a war, right? If I remember correctly, this is a war against the Taliban.
Right.
Okay. And that platoon had just experienced death and injuries because of guys on motorcycles, right?
Absolutely.
And after your case, then we found out that, in fact, evidence, physical DNA evidence, right?
Right.
Literally was on IEDs for the very guys that you ended up rightly killing, correct?
Absolutely.
How did this happen?
The Army hid the evidence. They wanted to push an agenda. They wanted to protect Obama's rules of engagement. Clint dared to try to protect his men. And the rules were set to place the lives of the Taliban above the lives of Americans. And so when Clint took action to take out this approaching motorcycle that threatened his men, and the Afghans, there were Afghan allies at the front of this platoon that fired first. He ordered fire within a period of about 15 seconds. They wanted to push an agenda to protect suicidal rules of engagement. So they hid evidence, Sean.
So in the Obama years, they had rules of engagement that actually said you can't shoot unless you're fired upon. So maybe you'll die first or somebody gets injured first, then you can fight a war.
The battlefield lawyer rule, you can't fire until you show hostile intent and hostile threat. And you've got to go through a battlefield lawyer analysis. By the time that happens, you're blown up or you're shot. And if you dare to take action like Clint did, they'll prosecute you for murder. And the president has taken a bold step to end that, and we're grateful for it.
Well, I just can't believe it. If we're going to do this to guys we send to war, we can't send them. Because you're not going to fight to win the war. What's the point?
Right, absolutely. The way I look at it, if you're not willing to fight the way you need to fight to win, then don't send the United States military. Send the State Department, the CIA.
How about those guys in air-conditioned offices that want to sit back and judge your 3-second decision? Maybe we ought to send them over there and see how they do in that environment. A lot of it, though, based on the rules of engagement. What recourse, Counselor, does he have? Because I would want to sue a lot of people.
We're going to talk to him about that, but I think the best thing that can happen is that Congress take action to end these suicidal rules forever so that other young men aren't put under this. This is personal to me. My son is a young paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. The president has now taken action to show that he has the backs of these troops, but we have to codify it so that never again does this ever happen where we prosecute a young American for taking out the enemy.
You don't seem angry. I'd be very angry. I'd be one pissed off person that lost 6 years of my life.
Well, that doesn't do any good, the way I look at it. When something like this happens to you, you get really good at making lemonade. And so, I mean, there's only one way to deal with that, and that is to get past it and to keep putting one foot in front of the other. But look, Sean, January 20th, 2017, my life changed forever because I knew that I had hope that day. And I knew that, with President Trump getting elected, that I was going to go home. And yeah, it took a little while, but you know what? He's a busy man. He's being attacked from all sides, even from our own side. So
you had a lot of opposition.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have followed your case for 6 years.
Absolutely.
I mentioned it to many people.
Right.
Including the president.
Right.
In an interview.
Right.
Anyway, we're glad you're home.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Your country owes you an apology. That was a disgrace.
Well, Sean, I just want to fix it. I don't want an apology. I just want to fix it. And I'm asking Congress to fix it.
I want an apology. I want one for you. You deserve one. And it's happened to other people, too.
It doesn't make any sense that we're willing to go over there and drop bombs with drones in Yemen and places like that every single day and take out wedding parties and so on and so forth. But when you have an infantryman on the ground making these impossible decisions, we send them to prison. Because of what? Some general gets embarrassed? It makes absolutely no sense.
Well said. Welcome home, soldier.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate it.